Sinfonietta YouTube channel. My name is Sean Leung, and today we are going to learn about the clarinet. The clarinet can be found in many different ensembles, including concert bands, orchestras, chamber groups, and sometimes even jazz bands. However, the most common usage for the clarinet is in a concert band, as a large section of concert bands are made up of clarinets. The clarinet has roots in the chalumeau, and the chalumeau is a single reed instrument, just like the clarinet. However, the chalumeau could only play the lower notes, or the lower register, of the modern day clarinet. And the invention of the clarinet is credited to Johann Christoph Denner, who in the 18th century added 2 holes to the original chalumeau, which allowed players to play the upper notes of the clarinet, or the upper register. And over time, people added more keys and extended the clarinet further to improve its intonation and to extend its range and the notes that it could play. The clarinet is usually made out of grenadilla wood, which is the wood used to make this clarinet. Grenadilla wood can also be called African blackwood. However, clarinets can also be made out of other woods, such as cocobolo wood or boxwood. And student instruments are usually made out of plastic. Now, there are many parts of the clarinet, so we'll just work our way from the top. Right at the top we have the reed, which is usually made out of cane wood or plastic sometimes, but this one's made out of cane wood. So you see it's very thinly cut. When you put air into the instrument, it vibrates really quickly to create the clarinet sound. Next we have the mouthpiece, which is usually made out of ebonite or hard rubber, or sometimes plastic for student instruments, but this one's made out of hard rubber. And basically it directs the air into the instrument, and of course it's where you put your mouth around. Next we have the ligature, which is used to secure the reed around the mouthpiece, like so. Next we have the barrel, which is used to connect the mouthpiece to our next part, which is the upper joint, and allows for tuning, as you can push in or pull out, so that you can go sharp or flat, depending if you were already sharp or flat, and that should make you more in tune. Next we have the upper joint, just the upper part of the body, and then the lower joint, lower part of the body, and then we have the bell, which is used to play the notes that require the entire tube and allows for better projection. To create a good sound on the clarinet, you have to use what's called an embouchure, and an embouchure is a way to position your mouth around the mouthpiece to play a wind instrument. And for the clarinet, you have to make a he sound, so he, and then bring your lips in to make an oo sound. So he, and making the he sound raises the position of your tongue, so he, oo. And then of course do that around the mouthpiece. And then next you need fast air from down low from your stomach. And by having good fast air and a good embouchure, you will be able to create a good sound on the clarinet. The clarinet is part of the woodwind family of wind instruments and is closely related to the saxophone, as they're both single reed instruments, meaning they have a single reed and then they have a mouthpiece and ligature, and they both use keys to raise and lower the pitch of the sound. The clarinet also has many different accessories, so probably the first and one of the most important accessories is cork grease. And you'll notice that when you assemble your instrument, you'll see corks around the joints, and it looks like this. And if you don't use cork grease, it is much harder to put your instrument together. So you just need to open the tube and put some on your thumb or finger and just rub it around, and never put the tube directly onto the cork. And you should find it easier to assemble the instrument. Next we have the swab, which is used after practicing or during practice if you want, to clean the spit out of the instrument. So just hold it bell up. Of course, take the mouthpiece off beforehand and just put it through and pull, and that should remove the spit from the instrument. Next, we have the reed case, which, since reeds are so fragile, reed cases are used to protect the reeds from any damage. The clarinet has a wide range of notes and a wide variety of articulations that it can produce. So, for example, it can play very low notes. It can play very high notes. As I mentioned earlier, it can also play many different articulations, such as staccato, legato. It can slur, and it can accent. The clarinet can also make many different funny or interesting sounds. Probably the most recognizable, as it can happen accidentally, is a squeak. And that can basically happen when you put too much pressure on the reed. And basically, it's where you play a note that's much higher than intended. So if I play a normal C, it sounds like this. And if I squeak it, you can see that the note that I just played is much higher than the C. Now, sort of contrary to a squeak is an undertone. And that's where you play a note that is lower than intended. So if I play a high F, which sounds like this, and then if I make it into an undertone, which can happen if your air isn't fast enough, it'll sound like this. So I get this sort of note that's much lower than I intended. Now the clarinet can also play two notes at the same time. There are a couple ways of doing this. First is multiphonics, which I'm not advanced enough to do, so you can just look it up. Another way is singing while playing, which is self-explanatory. You play and sing at the same time. The clarinet can also portray a wide variety of emotions. For example, it can portray happy, it can be sad, sneaky, and the clarinet can also be nervous. Now the clarinet is not limited to just those emotions. Since the clarinet is so versatile, it can play a wide variety of emotions, including ones that I haven't listed here. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Please remember to like and subscribe to the VSO Schooling Music Sinfonietta YouTube channel, and be sure to come back every Tuesday for a new Meet the Instrument video. Bye!